Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have a process video using just a snap pack. So I wanted to showcase using something where if you just have embellishment pieces and maybe Project Life cards or 4x6 cards, 3x4 cards, things like that, and no full pattern paper, what you can do with a layout. So I am going to do some mixed media on here. And if you are a subscriber to my channel at all, you will know I struggle with mixed media on a regular basis. I try it. It never turns out like I really like it. But I really think that this was one of those layouts that came together where if you follow Missy Whidden or anyone else that really does a lot of mixed media, the more the better. Just keep going with it, and most of it's going to be covered up anyways. So that's where I ended up. So I first started out with this, I think it's actually supposed to be like road tracks, like if you were going out and doing like mudding or go-karting or things like that. But I really like the way that those arrows look. So I started out with an ink pad. Then I got out this Heidi Swapp black shine. I'm still not liking it. At this point, I'm not liking it, but I'm going with it. I'm going to keep moving. So I did the left side. Now I'm working on the right side. I'm going to do the exact same thing where I use the mixed media, and then I'm also going to cut it down because I am going to put it on this black and white striped paper to give it a little bit of color or dimension behind the layout. So this is the box that I use for my mixed media spray things. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. And later on, you're going to see a 4x6 card that has the burgundy, orange, yellow, green, and blue. And that's where I pulled these colors from. I wanted to use that card to highlight the colors that I'm using. So I ended up doing that with both papers, both sides of the layout. I'm going to clean up my stencil here just a little bit. I ended up actually, I don't know why I cleaned it up because I'm going to use it all over again. But you can see here where I have the blue at the bottom. There's the green, the yellow, the orange, and then I didn't use a lot of red because, you know, when you use red, I just feel like it looks like blood. So I didn't use a lot of it. I just used just a little bit. I really showcased more that orange. So this is my background, and these are the photos that I'm going to use. And these are photos from there is an attraction here there's the card that I was talking about earlier. But there's an attraction here called the Fun Spot, and it is, I feel like it's a more of a carnival type attraction area as opposed to Disneyland and Universal. It has more of the kiddie rides. So when I took my nephew there, he has an annual pass to Disney, and he has been begging to go on the teacups at Disney World. And unfortunately, I have motion sickness so bad that even riding it, even if we did not spin, riding it and it spinning around, it's too much for me. So when we went here, they had a kiddie version of the teacups. And let me tell you, this boy was so excited. It was one of those, it was small enough that he was able to spin it himself. He spun around and around and around. He rode it probably 4 or 5 times. He loved the ride. And I'm so glad that he was able to get to ride it there, because now that he is old enough to ride the teacups by himself, and when I say by himself, we usually go with other kids, but they can't ride together unless they're 7 without an adult, or ride together alone, just the children. So now that he's old enough to do that, he has the experience of riding a smaller ride, so he understands the concept of spinning, even though it's a lot heavier ride than it is in this little one that we rode here. And he just had a blast. It was a great experience for him. I was so happy that he was finally able to ride something that I am not able to do. I have never been able to, but he loves being spun around and getting motion sickness, I guess, which I guess is a big thing for kids, right? So let's get back to the layouts. What I have done here is I have used a couple of the the 4x6 cards, actually 2 of the 4x6 cards. One, I backed the picture on the left in the orange, and then I added that stripe paper. And I didn't like the numbers on it because there wasn't really anything that I needed to number. I just liked the way that it looked. And I love this journal card here that says absolutely noteworthy. I think that is perfect because it is a noteworthy experience. And then I use the 3x4 card here that says my favorite, which that picture is my favorite right next to it. Because if you look closely, which is hard to see in the photo, the smile on his face is ear to ear in that photo. And I was so happy that I was able to capture that in that photo. So I did cut down another 4x6 photo, that awesome card. I cut it down so that it lines up with my picture. So I have a grid style on the right hand side, and well, really on the left hand side. The whole layout's a grid style. And I needed enough space to fill in the photos because even though it's 2 4x6s, I had that white space between the photos on the right, so I needed that little extra space. And then on the left-hand side, I added that 4x4 card that says epic and the 4x6 card that says so cool. And that's really my title, is the so cool. So now I'm cutting up some of the 3x4 cards, and excuse my little one. He was so interested in these photos. Cutting up some of the 3x4 cards so that I have more movement. It's not so blocky. And so I end up cutting 3 circles, actually 2 circles, because one of the circles came from the embellishment pack. So the big green circle right there says you are only young once, which is true, and I think that works perfectly for this layout. And then it also says happy, happy, happy in that blue one. And then I end up using that brown star to finish up that cluster. And I love the way that came out because it works perfectly on that blocked stripe background. That block stripe background pulls in the background from the layout, and everything just works so well together. So I'm adding the final touches to those 3 little clusters there. And really, I didn't do a whole lot to this layout. I feel like this is one where I let the paper showcase the layout, and the paper was awesome. It was perfect for these photos. So I added a bunch of journaling there that just explains basically what I explained at the beginning of this video. I am adding the date, and I do end up adding it underneath that card there. It just peeks out just enough to show that it is a little bit of an extra date there. So that's it for this layout. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are amazing. Please feel free to like this video. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you have time, I would love to hear your comments on this video. I do answer every one of them. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to get there, but I do answer all of your comments. So I appreciate all of you guys. So everyone, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a scrappy day.